All right, good day, friends. My name is Ido Walajun from Royal Solutions Technologies. I will be taking us today on Guage chart for sales and budget analysis using the tool PowerBI. And in today's class, I'll show you how to create a Guage chart, how to format a Guage chart, that the colors will also change based on the performance of the team with respect to the set targets. Alright, first, what are Guage charts and what are they used for? Guage charts are particularly useful for tracking and presenting the status of a project with respect to a target goal. Businesses use this to check their budget and also compare it to the actual performance. If you have a sales team or you have a project that you are supervising or working on, you can also use it to check the progress of the team or the result with respect to a particular target. And of course, our Guage chart has four major attributes. We have the minimum value, we have the maximum value, we have the current value, and also we have the target value. Alright, so I will be bringing in the sample data set that we are going to be using. So I'll be bringing the data into Power BI right away. So I click on get data because it's an Excel file, so I'm using import data from Excel rather. If it is other files format, I can come here and then select the type of file format that it is, and then I'm going to bring it in. Okay, so I click on import data from Excel, and I'm using the Guage chart data that I've prepared, so I click on it and I click on open. Good. So it's loading the data into our Power BI. Just a quick one, more like a reminder. Okay, I click on the sheet where you have the data, and then I click on load. Alright, so the data is definitely coming up in the Power BI tool that we are using. So while it's still loading, I want to just bring to a reminder that the budgeted is that which was approved, that was planned for and also was approved, and the actual is what the team used the money for. What was obtainable in the field, this is what was planned, this is what was approved, but then there are cases whereby the expenses can go beyond the approved budget, which is over and above it. But when it's lesser, that means it's within the confines of the budget. All right. So while it's okay, fine, it has finished loading. So I'm going to the fields where we have the data sets, and I click on yes. So these are the three present columns that we have. So I'll be going to our data tab so that we can have a look at it. Okay, let's see what we have so that we understand what the data has to say. So first of all, we have the category, then we have the budgeted amount and the actual amount that was spent. So now in this case, the budgeted amount for sales is 150,000, whereas the actual is 147,500. So we have different categories like that: the budgeted or the approved amount, and then the actual amount. So before we proceed, we need to first create a column whereby we'll have the variance, that's the difference between the budgeted amount and then the actual amount. So I'll be going from my column tools here. I just click on new column, so it will give me a new column. Alright, so I'm naming the column variance, which is the difference. Good. So now To get our variance, we are using our budgeted column, good, minus the actual. All right. So when I hit enter on my keyboard, it's going to give me the difference for each category. All right. Now, I need to change the data type of the variance column because budgeted and actual by default are having currency as their data type. Whole number too is good, but for it to have the same all through, so I go to format here and I change the whole number to currency. Good. So definitely, all right, good. We are now having the ones in the bracket are meant to be negative value, but because it's now a currency, so it's putting it inside the bracket. Just to a point to note there. All right, I'm going back to my report view. Okay, now I'm bringing in first my Guage chart. Good. So let me zoom it out so that we can see it very well. Now, what we budgeted for, that is going to be our target value. The budgeted amount is going to be our target value because that's what we are working towards. So now we are now bringing our actual amount into the value because that is what was obtained, or that was what was spent. All right. Earlier I was talking about the attributes of the Guage chart. All right. On my left here, where you have the 0M, it's our minimum value, and here where you have the 2M here is our maximum value, and the 780 here is our current value, and the 737 up here is definitely our target value. That means that's the value that was obtained. That's the goal. Now, if you look at the Guage chart, you can see that the blue is going beyond the vertical line that is here. Now, anyone that goes beyond, that means the current value is higher than the target value. So let's check and then we confirm. Good. So we say, let's look at marketing. Good. In marketing, our actual is higher than our budgeted amount. So let's go check it again. So let's oh fine. Okay, we have not put our slicer. All right, so let's add the slicer to the chart so that it can be easier. So I bring slicer. All right. So now that we have the slicer, our category is what we are going to use to slice. So we drag category to the field. Good. All right. All right. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay. All right. Good. So now earlier I was talking about. Let me check again. Marketing. Actual amount is higher than budgeted amount. So let me now slice in marketing. Where is marketing? Good. If you look at the Guage chart, this blue flows beyond the target. That means the obtained value is higher than the budgeted amount. And let me look at another one. Okay, let's look at sales, where the budgeted amount is higher than the actual amount. Sales, where are you? All right, good. You can see, looking at the chart, the Guage chart is not touching the goal. That means it's below the set target of the expense for the sales department. All right, so that's that with that. Now the next thing is we need to make the colors to change with respect to performance, because that's the goal of the Guage chart. being able to make the colors to change with respect to the performance. That means when the actual is less than the budget, the color becomes green, and when the budget exceeds what we want it to have, then it should return back to us a red color. All right. Good. So now, because we already have our variance created, so what we now need to do is to create a measure. And then we call the measure color. All right. Good. We call the measure color. All right. So now we now want to set using an if statement, conditional statement. Yeah. If the sum of variance, that's the difference, is if the sum of variance is greater than 0, it should return red. Else it should return green color. Okay. If the sum of variance is less than 0, when it's less than 0, that means it's going to give us a negative value, then it should return a red color. Else, when it's not that, it should give us a green color. All right. So let's. All right. All right, so having done that, okay, having done that, I'll go back to my gauge chart. Good. Then I'll go to format your visual. Then from there, I'll go to colors because that's what we need. Then we now go to conditional formatting. And then we now give it an instruction. We go to the format style. And then we talk about the field value. We select the field value rather, and then we go to our sheet, and then we select color, and then we click on OK. All right, good. So now let's now test all the categories. Customer service, green. Development, red. You can see finance, green. HR, red. IT, red. Why is it red? Because we are having 91K as our current value, which is budgeted, and then we are having 90K as our target value. That's what was obtained in the field. So because our current value is higher than what was budgeted for, so it's going to return a red. So let's check for marketing. Wow, expenses went beyond what we budgeted. Oh, operations, expenses were lower. That's why we are having the green. I hope we get to understand this very well. And if you still want, you can take your time to just practice and understand it. You can see with these, it becomes a whole lot easier. And then we have been able to do gauge charts for sales or for budget analysis. Thank you, and practice very well.